The COPE calls for the removal office of Public Protector Busisiwe Mkabane, this after the release of a report that found former Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan guilty of improper conduct. Rallying against gang violence, a rally and prayer service calling for an end in the killings in Port Elizabeth's northern areas.
Back again for Pretorius. Right on.
And in sport, the Blitzbokke are out of the London Sevens. They were knocked out in the quarter-finals by Australia. Welcome to SABC News. I'm Shante Yankis. If you have just tuned in, welcome. Let's have a look at some of your other stories making headlines across the border. Well, African news, tension has escalated between Botswana's former president Ian Khama and his successor Mokgweetsi Masisi. Khama has resigned from the governing party in the country. Well, Ian Khama chose Mokgweetsi Masisi as his successor, but now the former president says that he regrets the decision. The former president told his supporters, who were mainly Botswana Democratic Party supporters, that he was abandoning the party. It is the first time in Botswana that an ex-president has abandoned the ruling BDP in the history of a 57-year-old organization which has ruled Botswana uninterrupted since its independence in 1966. Well, Khama's father, Sir Seretse Khama, was the founding president of Botswana, serving from 1966 to 1980. Khama and his successor have fallen out publicly, with Masisi reversing some policies introduced by his predecessor, including most recently the lifting of a ban on elephant trophy hunting. Khama made the announcement of quitting while his successor Masisi was attending the inauguration of President Ramaphosa in South Africa. Staying with African news, the Malawi High Court has ordered that the Electoral Board not announce presidential results until the ballots from a third of the voting districts have been recounted after opposition complaints of election rigging. The main opposition, Malawi Congress Party of Lazarus Chakwera, went to court after noticing what it claimed was irregularities in results from 10 of the country's 28 districts. Opposition parties also complained that figures on the many sheets were altered using correction fluid. The court in the capital, Lilongwe, on Saturday ordered that the announcement of presidential results be postponed and are verified through a transparent recount process. The recount will be done in the presence of representatives of political parties which contested the elections. The electoral body suspended updating the results on Friday. Of course, the long-awaited Soweto Fashion Week 2019 is finally here and promises to fire up Soweto over the next winter season, with the futuristic cowhide animal prints as the theme for the 2019 autumn-winter season. Soweto Fashion Week is once again bringing together designers from Soweto and across Gauteng to showcase their work at the prestigious three-day event, which is taking place from the 30th of May to the 1st of June this year. Established in Soweto 2001, Soweto Fashion Week, founded by the fashion entrepreneur Stephen Manzini. Well, the three-day event will be held at Zone 6 Events. The venue, of course, that's in Diepkloof in Soweto. The venue has also become home to many of Soweto and Johannesburg's top music and lifestyle events. Well, for more on this, we're now joined by Mr Stephen Manzini himself, the founder of Soweto Fashion Week. Very good afternoon to you. We thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much for having me, Shante.
What is the process this year in choosing some of the designers as well as the theme for Soweto Fashion Week?
Okay, we have an open process when it comes to fashion designers. We call out open castings, whereby we select our designers. They bring like 5 outfits of their garments, completed garments, and they present them to us along with their company profiles. And then we check the craftsmanship and the trends that they used to create those garments, and that's how we select our designers.
And what was the theme? Okay, well, this year the theme has been cowhide. Yes. Let me ask you, what was the inspiration behind the theme?
Okay, cowhide, it's international. We've seen that through international trends that the animal print cowhide is the one that seems to be trending more than the others. Obviously, all throughout the years of fashion, there's different prints that come out. People use different animal prints, to showcase their their outfits. So then Cowhide is one of the prints that we selected to inspire the designers. So we're looking forward towards what they have in mind or how they're going to interpret that Cowhide theme.
Now, take us through the economic impact that Soweto Fashion Week actually has on the residents of Soweto. Specifically in Fashion Week, it is a 3-day event. There's different vendors, one would imagine. Take us through what it's like over those 3 days.
Okay, when we talk of Fashion Week, this is what we are, a platform. This is where the trends and you have different business people that interact with Soweto Fashion Week, fashionistas. You're talking about bloggers, you're talking about fashion designers, and by the way, the fashion designer doesn't just work by himself. He also has seamstresses that work for him or her. So the economic impact, it spirals. It's like a chain of events, chain of people that fashion designers actually assist. So you have your models, you have your seamstresses, you have your tailors, who assist the designer in making the garment. Then come the day, then you have, people who get their stands, who exhibit, but that's not really our focus. Our focus is what happens on the runway, because that's where the designers are presenting their new range, autumn winter range.
Now, so going on 7-8 years since the launch of this, what was your idea and your vision that you had for Soweto Week when you launched it or established it in 2011 as we go into 2019 collections?
Well, there's still a lot of work to be done, but so far I think we've done quite well with what we have. We've grown the brand. It was mainly a township brand, which most people were ignoring, but then it has grown to becoming one of the biggest national platforms in South Africa, and it's recognizable across Africa. So as far as we are concerned, we've done quite well. We've tried to push the brand across the borders. We've got Clavon Leonard, he's from New York, he's coming to showcase. He also showcases at New York Fashion Week. So that's a kind of growth that we want to see, synergy, between different countries coming together.
And that would then be my next question, in having it being something so local. What has the international buy-in been from Soweto Fashion Week, as well as, more importantly, I think, youth participation?
Yes. The growth has been really great. I mean, we've seen international media taking interest in Soweto Fashion Week. We've seen some international brands contact us trying to find out how they can get involved with the brand. So we've done different collaborations over the years. We've done collaborations with some exhibitions in Paris, in Switzerland, in New York, in Las Vegas. So we've done quite a number of international things with the international community. And, we started off, we're all, very, very young. So even our team reflects the youth. Yes, we do have, it's a mixture of both, of different worlds. So not that we're shutting out, the elderly generation, but we also have young people involved with Soweto Fashion Week. So even from the interns to, people who work behind the scenes, which is about, give or take, 100 people, most of them are youth. So the youth participation has been really great. People who attend Soweto Fashion Week, it's mixed, but then majority are your millennials.
And in terms of the inclusion of the fourth industrial revolution with regards to social media, technology, your influencers, your bloggers, is the ordinary person at home able to actually come and get a ticket to go watch, a show at Soweto Fashion Week? Or is it going to be, some of those shows that are more exclusive by invite only?
It's going to be a mixture.
Okay.
It's going to be a mixture. But it's open to the public. It's a public event. We're not shutting out to anybody. In fact, because at the end of the day, we are selling clothes. So we want people to take an interest in local fashion. We want people to take an interest in local clothing. Because at the end of the day, if, who is the designer selling to? Selling to the person on the streets. So if we can get you to come to us rather than, your usual retail store that you go and buy from, and come and buy from a local designer, you're actually putting, bread on somebody's table. So at the end of the day, we want everybody to get involved with Soweto Fashion Week. Come and support local designers. Come and support the local industry. I'm always for buy local. and we need to help grow our designer brands in South Africa.
Well, thank you very much for your time this afternoon, Stephen Manzini, the founder of Soweto Fashion Week, talking about the autumn-winter collection that we will be seeing displayed at Soweto Fashion Week, as well as the inclusion of international participation, and of course this year's theme, Cowhide, which is going to be very interesting. It will be taking place from the 30th of May until the 1st of June.